This is the plaintiff, Paula Kerr. She says she agreed to move into the defendant's house, gave her rent and security, and was shocked when she went for the initial walkthrough on move-in day. None of the promised repairs were made. There were holes in the walls, things weren't painted, and the defendant had her money in her hot little hands. The woman is a professional con artist who didn't keep her word, and she wants the $2,467.94 she's owed returned. This is the defendant, Roxanne Casper. She says she's been a landlord 15 years, has rented several homes, but the plaintiff takes the cake. As soon as the crazy woman moved in, her demands became excessive. She just kept asking for more and more once the lease was signed. And when she told the woman no, she demanded her money back. So here they are. She's accused of not doing what she promised. The defendant has filed a countersuit for $5,000 for a year's lost rent.
Litigants have been sworn, Your Honor.
Thank you, Douglas.
You're welcome, ma'am.
Okay, Paula Kerr,
Yes.
you are suing Roxanne Casper for $2,467.94 that you want returned to you, February rent, security deposit, and some money that you spent on an apartment that you ended up not taking. You have a counterclaim against her for $5,000, a statutory max, because you are suing her for 12 months for the lease that you say she illegally broke. Tell me what's going on.
Good afternoon, Your Honor.
Good afternoon.
I responded to the defendant's ad to rent her apartment on Craigslist. We went in and we saw the place, and I said, okay, I like it. You know, we walked around, we went upstairs, but she explained to me that there were tenants in there before we got there, and there were tenants in there, their furniture was there and everything. And then I said, well, you know, I need a lease for like March. And she says, well, I need something for February. I said, you know what, that's fine. And she said, you know what, can you give me $200 to show good faith? And I said, yes. I gave her a check for $200. She said, it's not refundable. I said, that's fine.
Okay.
So on that day, when we went in, we saw that there were problems. And I said to her, look, is everything going to be ready for the first of the month? And
Do you sign a lease for the place?
Yes, this came
All right,
afterwards.
can I see the lease?
Okay, thank you.
And you signed the lease on what day?
I signed the lease on January 23rd.
So this is the lease that you signed. You say that there's things discussed. And what does she agree to fix and what does she not agree to fix?
She said she was going to fix the ceiling fan, replace the ceiling fan. There was going to be painting and painting as needed.
What does that as needed mean?
Well,
I mean, she may think all that's needed is this much, and you may think it's this much.
Right.
Right?
Because,
as needed is pretty vague.
right, and Your
It's
Honor.
in the eye of the beholder.
Right, Your Honor. So when we went on the 23rd, she.
So what are the things she agreed before you signed the lease? That she would replace the ceiling fan and paint as needed?
Paint as needed, the doorbell. There were holes.
What's the doorbell?
The doorbell
Replace
was.
it?
Yeah, replace it because the electrical
So according
burnt
to
it
you,
out.
before you signed the lease, she agreed to change the doorbell. What
Right,
else?
and just general repairs that were needed.
That's it, general repair.
Right, once
Nothing
the-
specific. She didn't guarantee to you anything specific.
Right.
Okay, so now you're supposed to move in February 1st. Did you move in?
No.
No.
I didn't. I called her. I texted her in the morning of the 1st, and I said to her, Roxanne, I haven't heard from you over the weekend, and now tomorrow is the 1st. So she called me back like within 15 minutes and said, Paula, what's the problem? I said, well, you said we were going to do all these things, and I haven't heard any
Wait, what are the
plans."
things you're going to do? You have a lease that starts on the 1st. Move in and find out, and then complain to your landlord and say, hey, this, and this is missing or whatever, and then you work it out. Like, why is this stopping you from moving in? Because you had to pay rent for February 1st through March 1st in your last place.
and I mean,
so you had no rush. All right, so then what happened?
Okay, so she said to me, she cannot do nothing until I turn on the power.
All right, so do you turn on the power?
So I said, okay. I contacted the power company and said I had to pay $575 to turn on the power. I said, okay, all right, I'll get it done today.
Did you?
Right, I did,
Okay.
but they couldn't turn on until the following day.
Okay, so now the place is yours, the keys are yours, and they turn on the
No,
power.
no
What do
keys
you-
yet. No keys
Why
yet.
not?
Because we still haven't met. We still haven't met. We met on the 2nd.
But I don't know. But okay, but I don't understand. Why doesn't your tenant have keys on February 1st? I'm not getting what's going on between you two.
It hadn't been cleaned yet. So I warned her. I said,
Why hadn't it been cleaned yet? The lady's paying rent from February 1st.
Because we needed the electricity on. So I had a discussion with her, when are you turning it on? And she said, well, I'm going to be turning it on the 2nd. So then I waited.
So when did it get clean?
On the 4th and 5th.
So now it's ready on what day? The apartment for her to take? The 5th?
It was move-in condition on the 1st. It was. I mean, but I like things really nice, so I wanted to make it really especially nice for her. So I said, you know, on the 4th and 5th, it'll be professionally cleaned. I knew she didn't have to move in, but I said at that point, you know.
All right, so it's professionally cleaned, and then what happens?
She
Is not happy.
She's not happy.
And she's not happy. Why? Why aren't you happy?
She kept having me, like, I didn't know what way to go with her because she kept stringing me along because I guess she didn't want to paint. And if she told me that and said the lease was as is and not lead me to believe this.
Do you know the lease says as is? Are you aware of that? But according to both of you, you agree to do she agrees to do some stuff. What stuff, according to you, did you agree to do?
I said, out of courtesy, I will repaint the trim. And so I did it, and I stated it in a text that it was out of courtesy, that I didn't need.
Did you repaint the trim?
Yes.
Okay. And what about this ceiling fan that she was complaining about and the doorbell?
I got the doorbell. The only thing that wasn't on her list that I didn't meet at that point because I got.
What list are you looking at?
The list that she created. The only one I didn't meet.
That was created when?
That was after the walkthrough of.
The 2nd.
The 2nd. Yes.
Okay, so that's after her. She's already signed a lease.
Your Honor,
It's already
can I say
just
something?
a second. It's already past February 1st. She then sends you her wish list.
Yes.
Or her ransom demands.
Right.
That's how you see it. She sees it as a
Yes.
wish list.
Yes.
Okay. And what it says is agreed upon general cleaning, painting and touch up as needed. Replace the drains in the bathtubs. You say you did that. Replace broken doorbell. You say you did that.
No, Your Honor, I didn't.
Replace the drain.
It's the drain plug that sits in the hole. I did not. I acknowledge that it needed to get replaced.
Okay. So drain plug. Replace the broken doorbell.
I did.
Okay. Replace broken ceiling fan in living room.
I was getting to that.
So you hadn't done that one yet.
I had
Replace
agreed to
missing
it.
blinds for the front door.
I got that.
You got that. All right. So according to you, the only two things that hadn't been done that you had agreed to do after she signed the lease is replace the drains and replace the ceiling fan. But you were
Correct.
getting to it. All right. When do you find out that she's not going to take the place? What day?
It was after February 11th, I believe, Your Honor.
Okay. And what does she say?
She says that her stress of moving, her diabetes, police report that she had made.
What was the police report about?
She made a police report stating that her plastic chair is gone from the front porch.
Well, who
and
took her chair?
A neighbor.
Why did the neighbor take her chair?
He borrowed it.
What, who is he to borrow her chair? Who's this guy think he is?
I don't know, but it doesn't have anything, it doesn't concern me. So.
What happened with your chair?
I don't know why this guy felt like he needed to borrow my chair.
How did you find out he did it?
I went to the store. I came back like an hour, 2 hours later. The chair was gone.
Okay.
So when I stood there in amazement, I said, what happened to my chair? I know I put the chair there. So when I was leaving, a friend of mine said to me, that was with me, she said, Paula, do you have the guy's number that you talked to the other day? I said, well, no, he gave it to you. And she said, call him, because I think he borrowed it, because you know how island people...
How does she know?
It's just a conversation that we had, and she's more level-headed than me when it comes to, because I was panicking.
So you called the neighbor and said, did you steal my chair?
She called the neighbor and said, hey, do you know what happened to Paula's chair? And he said, hey, I borrowed it.
Get out!
You know, that's
All right,
island
now
people.
let's get back to the case, because that was fascinating, I got to tell you. But what made you decide on February whatever that you did not want to take the place? Because that's what this boils down to. Do you have a right to say, hey, lady, you breached the lease, so I'm bailing? Or do you not? And is it, in fact, you who's breaching the lease by bailing? Talk to me.
Last thing that was communicated from her to me was, she says, Paula, you rented the place as is, and
That gave you just a bad feeling?
everything that happened up until that point,
The neighbor chair thing?
I had to initiate with her. After she got the money, she basically dragged her feet. We had civil conversations. She knew what she said to me, and I knew I trusted her because she said, I'm a pastor's wife, you know? We had conversation.
Okay, but you just keep giving me, like,
I know,
fist-pounding complaints as opposed to facts. What are the facts? What did she not do that she was supposed to do?
She did
You
not
say paint. Judge, it was paint. But I'm pointing out to you that even you, on February 2nd, in your writing that you asked her to sign, which she didn't, that you signed, that you drafted, you say paint is needed. You don't say paint. So what else did she do? What else did the pastor's wife do that breached, that allowed you to say, hey, you're the breacher, not me, and I'm out? Tell me.
And welcome back to the People's Court. Harvey Levin here. So can this tenant, can she just say, hey, I'm not moving in because you didn't get everything done?
Absolutely. If that's what the contract is, that's the way it is.
Yeah, but the landlord was really close here.
It's on a technicality, though, but yes, close is not close enough, though.
Is close good enough?
Yes, it is. Do it within the week. It's fine. It's close enough. It's good.
Okay, nobody's perfect, you're saying. Going inside the courtroom.
I decided I didn't want to deal with her because of the things she said she was going to do and then said she wasn't, because obviously I didn't have it in writing.
And again, I've asked you, what is it she said she was going to do and didn't? And the answer is the painting.
Right.
Anything else?
Other stuff she just left for me to do on my own. She didn't. She didn't install anything.
All right.
She just.
I don't
wanted me to
find
do
that
it.
to be good grounds to breach the lease.
You hired a
I
handyman.
don't. Excuse me. I don't find that to be good grounds to breach the lease. It's not like you were waiting months and months and things didn't go. Things are breaking down. These are just not reasons to jump the gun like you did. You have a counterclaim against her for $5,000 for what?
Loss of rent.
Why didn't you just re-rent
January
the place?
10th, she made that deposit.
I understand. Why didn't you re-rent the place? Usually it doesn't take that long to re-rent it. It doesn't take 12 months to re-rent a place.
I re-advertised it on Craigslist March 14th.
March 14th.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. There's no reason for you not to have put it on the market on the day she sent you a text saying, yes, put it on the market, I'm not moving in, which was in the middle of February. You didn't. You waited a month. And then in March, what happened?
I had somebody on hold who wanted it. I had a conversation with them. It fell through, and then I had somebody else who was interested in buying it. The price wasn't right.
Okay, that's why this is happening, because you're thinking about selling it, which is also fine, but then you can't turn around and assert the legal grounds that you're asserting. What you're entitled to, in my estimation, is the 1 month of rent, the $1,150. There's a security deposit, which I don't believe, based on what I've heard from you, that you're entitled to, and I'm going to order you to return it. What else are
Your
you
Honor,
suing for?
I'm losing
Stop, repair
February
supplies
and
and
March.
handyman services. Tell me about that. Why should she have to pay that if I find that you're the one who breached the lease?
Because she agreed to an allowance she would give me if she didn't make the things that was need to be done. She would give me an allowance for whatever else was
Okay,
needed.
show me those texts or emails where she says, go ahead and hire the handyman. Did you agree for her to hire the handyman?
Yes, Your Honor. I felt
Okay.
pressured by her demands, and I was willing to do it myself, which the trim I did myself, and the purchases.
So $200 in repairs and 2 days refund on the rent. The rent is how much, $1,150?
$1,150.
All right, so I find that you are entitled to keep the February rent because I find that she was not entitled to breach. I would have considered giving you March rent if I had seen one scintilla of an effort on your part to rent it for March and being unable to rent it for March. But when a landlord makes zero effort to rent it for March, I cannot say, oh, and you owe March rent too, because there is a failure to mitigate damages, which is a legal requirement on the part of the landlord. I find that based on what you've just shown me, this text, that I am going to deduct from the February rent of $1,150 the amount of $282.14, which is 2 days refund and $200 in repairs. And so that would mean that she's entitled to keep $867.86. The security deposit, did she damage the place? Okay, so that goes back to her. You have from her 1,150 times 2, 2,300, right?
Yes.
Everybody's in agreement with that?
Wait, $200 I agreed to not get back because that was the initial deposit. We agreed
Correct.
that was non-refundable.
Yeah, but it counts towards your rent. It was non-refundable if back then you said, by the way, I'm not going to pay you.
Okay.
That's very nice of you to bring up.
Sorry.
But it doesn't count against you now because once you agree to take the place, it counts towards your rent.
I didn't know
So, yeah, so I'm just going to deduct the part that I need to deduct from what you should have paid for February based on the email that you showed me. All right.
Judge Milan, in the
No, we're
lease,
done. You know what? We're done. Okay, so
In the lease,
$1,150
it says she
minus
forfeits the
800, no,
deposits.
$2,300.
It says it right in the lease.
I don't care. 2,300 minus.
She forfeits the
Stop
deposits.
talking. Listen to me.
Right.
A non-refundable deposit is exactly that. Lady, I need to see some good faith money. Give me a non-refundable deposit. And then she says, you know what? I'm not going to rent your place. Oh, well, I'm sorry, but those $200 are gone. Okay? But you don't get to keep $200 and February rent. That's not how it works. I'm ordering you to return then $1,432.14. Verdict for the plaintiff.
Just hold on right there.
Well, let's see what the defendant has to say coming out here, right over here. What is this?
Line 36 of the lease, it says that if she forfeits the lease, walks out on the lease prior to the 12-month period, she forfeits her deposits. It says it right there, clear, black and white, and she missed that point.
I thought I heard the judge deal with that and tell you that's not how it works.
Says it right there, line 36.
All right. All right, come on in here. You satisfied how this thing works out?
Fair is fair, and I agree with the judge.
How'd you get yourself into this? Why'd you sign the lease prematurely like that?
She's a pastor's wife.
Okay, yours, Harvey.
Okay, this defendant just said to Kurt that paragraph 36 of this lease says the judge is wrong. Well, that's not true, because I can tell you what paragraph 36 says. That only applies when the tenant is already in the apartment, if there's an issue once the tenant already moves in. This is before the tenant moves in. Paragraph 36 does not apply. The defendant is wrong. The judge, of course, is right. And that will do it for this case. Litigants for the next case on the way into the courtroom right now.